Hi, it's Phyllis, and today I'm going to be talking about using Zoom to record your podcast. There are a few things that you want to know and a couple of setup things you're going to want to do if you elect to use Zoom all the time or part of the time when you're creating podcast content. One of the biggest reasons that people like to use Zoom is obviously because you can end up with audio and video content, which is great. You can repurpose the content and share it in multiple ways, which is a great practice. A lot of people like to use Zoom because it's familiar and it's easy. So guests and other people who might not record all the time find it really easy to interact with. They've used it before in other settings, which is great. And it's really an easy way to get multiple people into a recording. If that's part of what you're trying to do in your podcast, it's just a really nice way to do that. It also connects with schedulers like Acuity and Book Like a Boss and others. So when a podcast recording session is being scheduled and put on your calendar and your guest's calendar, the Zoom link can be created at that time, and it makes it really convenient. The single biggest setback really is the audio quality. We have people that use Zoom and they use other apps when they're going to be recording just themselves without guests. And they notice a difference in the quality when they're doing single recording on other applications and when they're recording on Zoom. And so we're trying to help you, and we want to help our clients get the best audio quality content regardless of what you use. So if you're going to use Zoom, there's a few things that you're going to need to know. The first thing that you're going to want to do, we're just going to open up our Zoom app here. And the first thing that you want to do, go over here to the settings button. Now, before you even get to this part, when you're getting ready to record, I have another video that I will link to. But when you're getting ready to record, and you'll want to tell your guests this as well, it's really important before you open Zoom up for your recording, before you click on that link, to have your microphone already plugged in. If you're going to use an external mic, have your earbuds plugged in. Make sure your guest does the same. So that will help with setup, and it'll help you get off to a good start because those things need to be there. We're going to go over to this audio here, and we're just going to check to make sure that things are set up correctly. Now, right now, my Zoom is showing up because I'm recording this video for you using Corel, actually. So Corel, and I'm using a USB mic that's plugged into my laptop. And so Corel has that mic selected. But in Zoom, if you look over here, the microphone that's selected right now for Zoom is actually the laptop mic. And so I would want to go down and pick the USB mic, which is right here. If that's we have a lot here. You're probably only going to have two. Your laptop mic, which is up here. Sometimes you may have a laptop mic plugged in and it may not be selected. So you think you're recording with your better quality microphone that's plugged into your USB slot. But if it's not selected right here on Zoom, Zoom's still just using the microphone that's built into your laptop. So sometimes this is the cause of not getting the quality or the type of quality audio sound. Simply just by making the selection is going to help. You're making sure if you're using an external mic that it's been selected properly. So that's the first thing that you're going to want to do. And you can have your guests do this as well and show them how to do that as well. Then we're going to go to the recording tab. Now, this recording tab is this is only something you're going to need to do one time. Once you set this all up, you're going to be good to go. When you come up here, we're going to do local recording. When Zoom is completed and you completed your recording and you hit end record, if you've done that before, you know that Zoom automatically kind of processes it and then either uploads it or downloads it. They have a kind of a cloud, and I think it gives you an option, but we want you to have a fail-safe. Basically, we've been told that the best practice is to have the recording be saved to your hard drive. When Zoom, this is part of the reason why quality isn't always as good as we would like. When Zoom downloads or puts your recording file together, they do a little bit of compressing to that file. So we end up with really a copy of the original. I've been told, and we've been told, that best practice is to download this recording to your hard drive of your laptop. I don't know that I have not tested this, but we've been told that when you do that, they do less compressing to that file than when you upload to the cloud. So we just recommend that for best practices. So if Zoom's going to have this default to a cloud kind of, app folder that they set up. So you're going to want to change that. So you can go right here, hit the change button. These are going to come up and you're going to go to whatever you want to select, whatever your normal thing is. If you want to go to, we have it set up for Dropbox, but you can go to documents or downloads, however you want to do that. If you need to set a new folder, you can just make a new folder and you call it My Zoom Videos or whatever you want to call it. But you want to make sure that you have that, and that's going to automatically go up here. We've already got ours selected, so you can see it's already in there. So once you do it, every time you record on Zoom, it's going to go there. Even if it's not a podcast recording and you're just recording a meeting with a client or something, it'll go to your hard drive. Now, you don't have to let it stay there. After it goes to the hard drive, you can move it then to Dropbox or move it to OneDrive or whatever you prefer to do. But downloading it there, we believe, will help us ensure we get the best quality. The other thing that you want to do is, this is probably going to be unchecked unless you've already done this, is record a separate audio file for each participant who speaks. So I'm going to make sure that that is checked. The top one also needs to be checked where it says choose a location for recorded files. And we're checking that because we're going to put in that special location right here that I just showed you how to do. Okay. And that's all you have to do. Once you've created these settings, they're going to stay. It's going to apply every single time you record. You don't have to worry about doing it again. That will help ensure that you get the best recording quality possible. A couple of other final tips, like always, and it's even more important with Zoom because we have a little less control over how we can edit some of those compressed files. Be sure that you have microphones and headphones plugged in first. Make sure that you are in a quiet recording space. Eliminate as much background noise as possible. Ask your host to do the same, or your guest, to do the same. A lot of people, if they don't record often, they don't realize that, like moving back in their chair and back and forth away from the microphone, or even typing or tapping on the table, they may not realize that gets picked up in recordings. And we try to edit all of those things out when we can, but sometimes with a compressed file, it becomes a little more challenging. So this kind of setup will ensure you get the best possible recording. It'll be really easy because once you've changed those settings, you're good to go. I will also definitely link to the other video that shows how to plug in the microphones and make sure they're selected. We go into that in a little more detail, and I'll make sure to link to that here. If you have any questions, like always, please get in touch with us. And otherwise, happy podcast recording.